The boy who grew up in the Dublin suburb of Crumlin didn't have an easy childhood. Born on July 14, 1988, at the age of 18 he worked as a plumber alongside his father, Tony McGregor. He was still living in Dublin, not knowing what direction he was going to take with his life and professional career. The most interesting thing is that it took Conor McGregor a while to get interested in fighting. His greatest passion, in fact, was soccer. The Irishman follows the sport to this day, especially at matches of Manchester United, England's top division club. At the age of 12, he took his first steps in boxing, but there was a huge gap between practicing the sport in order to learn a little about self-defense and pursuing a professional career in the sport. He didn't have his father's support to survive as a fighter. The decision to do otherwise was mainly due to the fear that his son would be professionally frustrated. McGregor and MMA. In the octagon, Conor McGregor was gradually developing in MMA mixed martial arts. His debut in the sport came in 2007. He was promoted to Dublin's most important MMA championship, the Irish Cage of Truth, and this was undoubtedly an important step towards his career success. To do so, he beat Kieran Campbell in an amateur fight. All this before he earned his fortune. And so, in 2013, the mixed martial arts fighter joined Ultimate. Upon receiving an invitation from UFC President Dana White, McGregor turned professional and began to make a name for himself as an athlete. Conor McGregor's UFC debut. On April 6, 2013, Conor McGregor made his debut in the Ultimate Fighting Championship at the UFC on Fuel TV event Mousasi vs. Latifi. The Irishman knocked out his opponent Marcus Brimage before the 2-minute mark of the first round and thus began his victorious career in the company. The pinnacle of McGregor's UFC career was undoubtedly when he became the first fighter to simultaneously win 2 belts in different categories. To do so, he beat opponents Jose Aldo at UFC 194 and Eddie Alvarez at UFC 205. Conor McGregor vs. Jose Aldo. It was precisely to Conor McGregor that Brazilian fighter Jose Aldo lost his unbeaten record. A curious fact about the fight is that it was over in just 12 seconds. That's right, UFC 194 took place on December 12th in Las Vegas. On that occasion, the Irishman landed a left hook to the Brazilian's chin, ending the fight in the nick of time. Conor McGregor vs. Floyd Mayweather, the Irishman's first boxing match. In his first professional boxing bout, Conor McGregor faced the now retired Floyd Mayweather, considered one of the best boxers in history. Despite resisting, the Irishman was unable to overcome the American, who won by knockout in the antepenultimate round. Conor McGregor's fortune. Conor McGregor is, above all, one of the richest athletes in the world. To give you an idea, in 2021 alone, the star earned $180 million. Today, Conor McGregor's fortune is thought to be valued at almost 1 billion reals, more precisely, 948,961,678 reals. Last year, Forbes magazine reported that McGregor was paid more than top footballers such as Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo, and Neymar, basketball player LeBron James, tennis player Roger Federer, and Formula One driver Lewis Hamilton. Whiskey and pubs, fortune only increases. The curious thing is that, as well as being an outstanding athlete, the fighter has also ventured into the business world as an entrepreneur, as he is a partner in a whiskey brand, Proper No. 12 was sold for around $600 million United States dollars, according to information published by Shanken News Daily in April 2021. And despite all the revenue in the account and with the fortune accounted for, McGregor is selling a yacht that is anchored in Dublin Bay to tie up the money to buy the iconic O'Neill's pub located in Dunlowghair, a small town in County Dublin. According to the currency, negotiations are already well advanced. But McGregor won't be making his debut in the Irish pub business, as he has a pub in his hometown, the Black Forge, in Crumlin. He also owns a pub in Dublin where he himself was caught punching a customer in 2019. the Marble Arch. To make the story even better, as well as buying the pub, he decided to ban the man he punched from the establishment, who is no longer allowed to frequent the place. Conor McGregor's controversial ways. We've already talked about the fighter's career and fortune, but throughout his life, Conor McGregor has presented a considerably controversial personality in the face of great media exposure. Trash talk is one of the strategies used by the fighter to destabilize his opponents. The 33-year-old fighter's personality is so sharp that the UFC's official website has already published an article entitled "Love Him or Hate Him," referring to the star of the Octagon. Main controversies. 2015, one of the first controversies of his career happened on January 18, 2015. On the occasion of UFC Fight Night, McGregor vs. Siver, the Irishman defeated the German and provoked Jose Aldo. The Brazilian was watching the fight and saw the winner of the bout coming towards him to taunt him. 2016, the following year, a photo of Conor McGregor posing with a gun caught the eye on Instagram. Wearing a ninja mask, he had the object pointed out of his car window, and the scene would be repeated the same year, just a few months later. In August 2016, Conor McGregor took part in a press conference ahead of UFC 202. Because of a delay by the Irishman, the event ended in cans and bottles being thrown at him by Nate Diaz, his opponent, who was annoyed. Of course, McGregor would hit back. 3 months later, in November, before UFC 205, when McGregor faces Eddie Alvarez, the Irishman simply stole the American's belt. The Notorious had already done the same with Jose Aldo in 2015-2017. A year after the episode with Eddie Alvarez, the Bellator organization had scheduled some fights in Ireland and the Irish fighter went there to attend. After Charlie Ward's victory on one of the night's cards, Conor invaded the Octagon to celebrate. His attitude, however, displeased referee Mark Goddard, who ended up being pushed and cursed at. 2018, a few months later, in April 2018, another controversial episode marked Conor McGregor's career. This time, he was accompanied by 10 other people. On that occasion, McGregor invaded the press conference preceding UFC 223 and attacked the UFC bus, which had a window smashed. Khabib Nurmagomedov, who would be fighting in the main event, was on the bus attacked by the Icelandic fighter. The action even made it impossible for Michael Chiesa and Ray Borg to fight, as they left the venue bruised from the shrapnel. Arrested after being considered a fugitive by the New York police, Conor McGregor was involved in yet another police episode, 2019. Perhaps the most unexpected controversy Conor McGregor has been involved in was being arrested for breaking a fan's cell phone. It happened recently, in 2019, in Miami. The athlete was leaving a nightclub when he was approached by the fan to take a photo. The fact, however, displeased the Irishman, who reacted aggressively. Local cameras recorded the episode. To get out of jail, he had to pay $12,500 United States dollars bail. The following month, there was another controversy, this time in a bar in Ireland. When he offered a shot of his whiskey to everyone present, an elderly man refused to accept the drink. This sparked a revolt on McGregor's part, who allegedly punched the man. 2020, racism and sexual harassment are also among the Notorious's controversies. By using a phrase that referred to the way white people addressed enslaved blacks in the USA, such as "dance for me, boy," the Irishman was accused of racism before his fight against Floyd Mayweather Jr. McGregor also mentioned Khabib Nurmagomedov's religion. The Russian, who is Muslim, was the target of Conor's irony and religious intolerance. Finally, accusations of sexual harassment and assault in Ireland and France led Conor McGregor to explain himself to the police.